Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
It's a WHOW Morning Show. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, courtesy of Peterson Insurance, your Pekin insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio in this segment, Mr. Curt Homann, the Executive Director of the DeWitt County Development Council. Curt, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Ben. Good to see you.
Yeah, you as well. Thanks for taking time for me today. I feel like the big conversation, especially as of late in Clinton and in the county, really has been revitalization, building new houses and trying to, spruce up the whole county, so what's been those conversations that you've been having on that topic recently?
Yeah, well, there's been a lot going on, that's for sure.
Right.
And revitalization, new housing is certainly one of the main focuses for us. And on that note, on October 16th, we are putting together a downtown revitalization idea meeting, and it is at 4:00 at the Vespian Warner Library. And all business owners that are downtown or building owners, and some of those maybe this one and the same, but they're not always, are invited to that. And we'd really like to get some ideas on ways to revitalize the appearance of downtown and the business of downtown for sure.
Yeah. So what's kind of the reasoning behind that? Was there a certain, conversation or a certain thing that happened that made you guys say, hey, maybe we want to host an ideas meeting?
Yes, absolutely. And thank you for that. So actually meet as I normally do with a lot of different folks in town, but one of my meetings was with the Warner Cole Foundation. Okay. And of course, that's always been a priority with them as well. And we've had some discussions and decided, hey, let's get some bigger discussions going and see what we can do with our downtown area. So they're actually Warner Cole Foundation will be there, City Clinton and the Chamber of Commerce. Great. We'll all be there to mostly to listen and take notes, and we'll come back with some, maybe more meetings but eventually the idea is that we come back with ideas that can be implemented, and we start that process of downtown revitalization. Yeah, for sure.
Are there any ideas that, maybe you've been talking about with the city or anything that you want to put out there before you guys go into this meeting? Any ideas you're bringing in?
So I want to be very, very careful of a couple things. So I want to make sure that I think I have some ideas of what the downtown business and building owners need. Yeah. However, we want to be very, very careful to make sure that we don't have preconceived ideas that are incorrect.
Definitely.
So ultimately, in my head, the answer is yes. I have some ideas, but the second half of your question is no. I'm not going to come with ideas. Yeah. It is literally a brainstorming session. That will be an input session from the building owners and the businesses to tell us exactly what's holding them back. What do they need? What could we do collectively to start that process? And I actually feel really good about what will come out of this. I genuinely do. Yeah.
And I mean, who's going to know better than, like you said, those business owners, those building owners who are out there every day and, can kind of pinpoint those areas that need to be worked on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And oftentimes something will get brought up, that isn't a revitalization issue, maybe. Yeah,
sure.
But, that can be easily addressed as well. So, while our main focus, of course, is building and business revitalization, there'll be some other things that probably could be accomplished with a quick phone call or just a clarification on something. So
definitely,
but I definitely have high hopes, and part of it is you go to several communities. I mean, some are their downtown is certainly a focal point. Yeah. And often people describe the town based on the downtown. So they they have some great retail, or what a great downtown, what a beautiful active downtown, and that's ultimately what we want to improve upon. I think the downtown Clinton is actually pretty cool. There's a lot going on down that town, but if there were twice what was going on downtown, it would really benefit all the other downtown merchants and it would benefit the community as a whole for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Well, one more time, remind us the when, the where for that meeting.
Yeah, so it's October 16th. It's at 4 p.m. at the Vespian Warner Library. So it's coming up here pretty quick.
Yeah.
If you're a downtown building owner or a downtown business owner, you are absolutely invited.
Mhm.
If you are not a downtown business owner or building owner and would like to come, please reach out to me.
Mhm.
Simply because I need to know essentially how many are going to be there. So,
Yeah.
and you can call me 217-377-3174.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. Great. Well, let's switch gears a little bit. And, a conversation that you and I had last time I got to have the pleasure of having you on the morning show, Mr. Homann, was the data tracking. That was a big project that you guys have been working on for a long time. And it seems like things have kind of been moving forward with that.
Yeah. So we did sign an agreement to enter into a 3-year contract for data management, data tracking, people movement subscriptions. And I'm being trained on it, but it's really interesting, some of the information we're able to get and get focused on. Those that have heard that we now have this available to us, there's been a lot of excitement around that. Those even outside of the county, are asking me a whole lot of questions.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, there's some really useful data that we're going to be able to get out of it. Some of the early things I've done is, again, I have very limited knowledge at this point. But just compared, say, people movement in Farmer City versus people movement in Clinton. So there's the two biggest markets that I serve.
Yeah.
And so it was interesting to see the similarities and the differences between the two. And really the usefulness of that will come very, very soon for sure.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of very unique and interesting data that we'll be able to obtain and be able to utilize for many of our businesses, for the county, for the cities, in terms of grants and all those things. So we're super excited to have it. I wish I was an expert immediately. I feel like I know about 5% so far of what I can do, but that will come with time, and the usefulness of it is super exciting. So we're really appreciative. We had to seek some funding for that. We were able to get most of that covered. We still need some more funding, of course, to do that, but we're utilizing faith at this point that will come. And once we see some of that data that comes out, I think people will be very financially supportive of it as well. So
yeah, that was kind of my next point is, first of all, do you guys have maybe a rough idea of like when you're going to be able to kind of roll this information out to local businesses? And then do you think that when you do that, you guys are going to be getting some more interest in it?
Yep. So we're going to gradually roll that out.
Sure.
And we're going to do it collectively, at various public speaking opportunities. So as an example, on October 16th, I'm going to be able to track some data for downtown Clinton.
Cool.
Be able to present that information. I can do that over a few years time period. And then we'll have a starting point in terms of how many people are coming downtown, where are they coming from, how much time are they spending there, those types of questions or answers. And we'll be able to track those, in the future as well. And maybe be able to provide our downtown businesses with some additional details that will say, hey, 25%, this isn't a real number. I know 25% of your downtown traffic is coming from Bloomington or Decatur or whatever that number is.
Yeah.
And so that may allow our downtown businesses to say, oh, we really need to focus on marketing to that area a little bit better.
Yeah. So speak to just how valuable that information can be, though, for that person or that business owner who may be a little bit skeptical of data tracking in the county. I don't want to say you're kind of like minimizing it, but that can be some really, really valuable information, right?
The more we know about who comes to DeWitt County, the better equipped we are to profit's not the right word, but serve.
Yeah,
or
serve those customers.
Serve, and so I just think all that information is useful. The real answer is I don't know. I mean,
fair enough.
I can tell you what other. I've already had other counties reach out to say, hey, will you look up this information? Will you do this? Will you find this out for us? And really the answer is no at this point.
Yeah.
But that being said, we're excited to have it. It's gonna come with time. I mean, some of the useful things I can really update I know the county has a strategic plan, and I can go through that strategic plan line by line, or at least the economic portion of it line by line, and say, here's where we're at now. And then we can keep track of that over time, so we can see how effective, county programs are, as an example.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot of it is just is a measure of how we're doing, but there also is some very useful information. Apple and Pork, I will know soon what, the zip codes that every person came from that came to Apple and Pork. I'll know what road they traveled on. I'll know how much time they spent here. I'll know how much time they left. I'll know the exact number of people that were here. I'll know the place they stopped at before they got to Apple and Pork. I'll know the place they stopped at after they got to Apple and Pork. So all of this very useful data that we'll be able to help our communities market a little bit better to our guests that are coming into the county.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Curt, any final things on data tracking you want to put out there before we take a break here?
No, I think we've covered it pretty well, but I'll bring snippets of information as I'm on the radio in the future as well.
Awesome, great.
Yep.
Well, looking forward to that. Again, Curt Homann, the Executive Director of the DeWitt County Development Council. More to come on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
At Hickory Point Garden Homes in Forsyth, you get the independent lifestyle you want without the huge price tag. It's half the cost of most independent living options. No stairs, no worries. All duplexes have an attached garage. They're accessible, safe, and private. Say goodbye to maintenance and hello to freedom, because now you can go do whatever you want to do. If you're 55 or better, it's time to simplify your life. Hickory Point Garden Homes in Forsyth. Independent living done right. Find out more by clicking their icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Noah Atkinson here. As owner of Lincoln Printers and Sign Designs in Lincoln, I know small business is important to our communities. That's why I'm pleased to be the exclusive sponsor of the WHOW-WEZC Lincoln Printers Business of the Month.
Quality Glass and Trim at 220 Northeast Street in Clinton is another longtime Clinton business. They offer glass sales and service, specializing in commercial, home, and auto. Quality Glass and Trim also does storm windows, glass furniture tops, and headliners. They'll receive a $200 gift certificate good at Lincoln Printers and Sign Designs for being our WHOW-WEZC Lincoln Printers Business of the Month. Nominate a business you'd like featured by emailing us at WHOW@randyradio.com.
Congratulations to this local business for all they do for the community. And don't forget, for envelopes, wedding invitations, signs, banner wraps, and more, go to LincolnPrintersInc.com.
The Illinois Emergency Management Agency has designated WHOW's many platforms on AM and FM, as well as WEZC 95.9 FM, as standby radio stations for emergency messages to be sent for severe weather, as well as for the Clinton Power Station. We also have a direct link to the National Weather Service for watches or warnings to air immediately when they're issued. Keep yourself and your family safe by tuning into the WHOW platforms on AM, FM, or streamed online, as well as on WEZC 95.9 FM.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
It's the WHOW Morning Show. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, courtesy of Peterson Insurance, your Pekin insurance agent in Clinton. We continue with my guest in studio in this segment, Curt Homann, the Executive Director of the DeWitt County Development Council. And Curt, we're inviting some people to come join you at the City Council meeting tomorrow evening. Tell us why that is.
Yeah, so exciting news, and I won't break all the news, but we do have a new a large business that is going to officially announce tomorrow that the Clinton area will be its new business location, or a new business location for it. So I'd like to invite everybody out to the Clinton City meeting tomorrow night, 6 p.m. They'll do a little presentation, and it'll be a great opportunity to welcome a new business to town, but a pretty substantial number of new employment, good manufacturing jobs that'll come along with it, and just would love to have everyone come welcome them.
Great,
for sure.
Great, yeah.
So,
and remind me what time that meeting is. 7, right?
I believe it's at 6 No, it is 7.
I think
It
it's
is
7 p.m.
Yes, it is 7 p.m. I get Farmer City is at 6 and Clinton is at 7.
And the
So-
county
and
ones are 5:30.
they
and,
are.
yeah, they're all
yes.
over the place.
And Farmer City has a meeting tonight at 6, but yes, 7 p.m. Thank you so much for correcting me on that.
Yeah. So obviously you can't say too much about that, but I'm going to throw you a little curveball here while we're talking about new business. And I'm wondering if there's any updates on Quickwall, the big manufacturer that just came into Clinton recently.
There is. And I could say a lot about the business that's coming, but one thing I want to let them say everything that they want to say. But the one thing I do really want to point out is it took a real collective effort. I mean, we had folks from the city of Clinton. We had folks from the county board, DCDC, of course, the business. We were all working together to make sure that this business came smoothly, and we were able to all accomplish that. So not enough can be said about the teamwork and cooperation that happened there. But Quickwall, great question. Quickwall is continuing to move along. I know they're getting equipment put in the location in the building, and there's been a lot of changes in there, and they're getting absolutely closer to being ready to start manufacturing out of the Clinton facility. So they'll move lines over gradually, and the exact time frame is soon, I can tell you that, for their first line. And every time I ask, they say, well, essentially we're gonna do it when we're ready, and it'll be very, very quick. So we may decide on a Friday, and the next Monday we're operating here. So
nice.
but everything's coming along pretty smoothly, and by the end, certainly by the end of the year, they'll have at least one line running, and probably multiple lines.
Great.
But probably, I would guess November even for their first line.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, great.
So-
Great. I'm curious, I'm sure you were talking to the people over at Quickwall very, very often, as you guys were ramping up to welcome them to town. I'm curious, have those conversations shifted at all? How have things changed in the relationship with them as they've kind of gotten settled?
Yeah. So you're correct. I mean, the once they made the decision to come, those conversations shifted to permits and getting things ready and things that come up along the way. So we were talking very, very regularly, before. It's not quite as regular, but it's still pretty consistently regular. I pop out at the facility here in town likely once a week.
Oh, wow.
Make sure everything is going smoothly out there.
Good.
See if they need anything, get some updates. And those conversations continue. They're just completely, they're completely different. And I from my perspective, I want to make sure that business has a smooth operation. So they're getting assistance here that they're maybe didn't get or won't get from anyone else, and at any other part of the world. And we want them to stay here forever. Yeah. Just like every business. So.
And if I remember right, that those conversations and the relationship that you guys were building was a big part of the reason they came here, right?
For sure. Yeah, for sure. And I can say with this new business that came up, one of the comments that was made, they have a location in a much larger area, and I mean, not even in the state, but they are surprised at the amount of local assistance that was offered here that wasn't offered in a much bigger community. So yeah. I think we have a lot to be proud of when we say we're working for economic development. We truly are.
Yeah, definitely, and it shows. Curt, I feel like we've been talking a lot of Clinton, and we've been talking a lot of Clinton today. So I want to move over to Farmer City, and one of the new businesses out there as of late is the co-op. So maybe as we've got just about 3 or so minutes to go here, let's talk about where the co-op kind of started and where we are now.
Yeah, absolutely. So a couple things with Farmer City just in general. There's definitely something. All the groundwork is being set up in place for Farmer City really to have some economic great successes in the upcoming years. So awesome. I can't say enough about that, first of all. But the co-op, I think, is one of those springboard activities for downtown. So the co-op now is going to be officially acquiring the building probably in the next 10 to 14 days. The city has offered to help financially with that. It's part of a TIF district. And so the co-op will be officially applying for some TIF funds here at the end of the month. Nice. And they've identified a architect that they will hire and get exact drawings. And really, then it'll be out to bids for the rehabilitation of the building and reconstruction of the building.
Mhm.
And I suspect I would suspect they'll be open by late spring of next year, maybe early summer,
Mhm.
depending on the severity of the winter and those types of things. So
Sure.
things are really moving along with that. I think that, again, even for the downtown, that's going to be a big springboard for other business activity downtown, and be another nice selling point for Farmer City. But there really are a lot of great things in the works for Farmer City, including their interstate development.
Mhm.
Some look at some housing sites as well. I mean, Farmer City's not, it doesn't have enough housing either.
Mhm.
And so, that's in the works as well. So a lot of good things happening that side of the county.
Yeah. And speak to the need, just for bringing the co-op in and having that food source there.
Yeah, so absolutely. To have a local option for food is a good thing. The only local option at this point is the Dollar General, which has a limited amount of food.
Yeah.
And then convenience stores, the Casey's and the Hucks. Otherwise, folks have to go out of town for grocery type items. So this is going to be a big plus for the town. Particularly, you look at maybe elderly population or those that can't easily travel.
Mhm.
This is going to be a super success. But it's also going to have it's going to have deli type food, so it's going to provide another quick food option as well for people that's maybe a little fresher and healthier than maybe some other choices too.
Great.
So
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm super excited about this, and I think this is going to be a great win for Farmer City for sure.
Yeah. Curt, where do people go to find out about the DeWitt County Development Council?
Absolutely. Follow us on Facebook, DeWitt County Development. Reach out anytime at 935-5271, or text me at that number as well.
Great.
So, yeah.
Great. Again, that is Executive Director of the DeWitt County Development Council, Curt Homann, on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.